Hello everybody, Dagmar Bryant, Mindset and Transformational Coach, coming to you this morning to talk about the things that we need to do to psych ourselves up, to rev ourselves up. What is it that you do that is part of your process for getting you going? For many athletes, there are lots of things that they do in terms of preparing themselves for a particular event or a particular task. And for example, I told the story of the two Olympic athletes. They did their preparation, they did their visualization. That was all a big precursor to leading up to the main event, which for them was the Olympic Games. So what is it that you can do to help yourself, whether it is that you have your own event like a marathon that you want to run, or that you have to do a presentation for your boss or for anybody else? What is it that you do to get yourself revved up and get yourself going? And I would say to you, there are two key things that you need to keep in mind. Number one is preparation, and number two is activation. Now today I want to focus on more of that activation, because for many events or many things that you do in your life, the preparation will have been done weeks, if not months before. It's like me getting up every morning. No, I don't do knowing I'm going to do my Facebook Lives. No, I don't prepare for months, but whenever I go around for my walk, this is why you see me here most mornings, because I've already had time to think about roughly what it is that I want to say. If I'm doing a speech or a presentation to an audience, my preparation is going to take months of work. My activation will be something entirely different. For example, the hour or so before the speech, unless of course I'm driving, I'm going to be thinking about the key things that I want to put into my speech, go over the key points. Now, for you, if you've got a presentation that you want to do, or if you're doing something to do with your clients, what is your activation? Even what is your activation for getting up in the morning, for getting you psyched up and facing the day? That might be as simple as a cup of coffee. With the lockdown that we've had, it might be a simple thing of getting out of your pajamas and putting your makeup on. We all have different ways and different things that we want to do, and I'd like to give you two examples. I don't know how many of you know or remember of Leighton Hewitt, the Aussie tennis player. And sometimes when he was out on the court and he's playing his game, his activation was, "Yeah, come on!" And that's the way that he would get himself revved up and psyched up to give that little bit more, to put in that little bit more. If, for example, you are a gym instructor and you know that you have to do a presentation for a bunch of people, for example, the three key points that you might want to make to your audience involve power, strength, and speed. And so you might say to yourself as part of your activation, power, strength, speed, power, strength, speed. And it might be either in the words that you use or how you use them. A different example, I remember quite a few years ago now, I was working with a friend of mine who said to me, I have these weekly management meetings and I get quite, nervous and uptight about it before I go in. Do you think there's something that we might be able to do that you can help me? And I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. And one of the things that part of the process was working on a colour, and we did an activation colour for him, which ended up being red. So we did the session, and then a while after, I checked in with him and said, how's that going with your management meetings? He said, yeah, absolutely fine. I now take my workbook, and I can't remember if it was a red piece of paper or like a red bookmark that he would take with him as well as the workbook. And he said, yep, I have those two things, and I know that I am going to be absolutely fine. So what is your activation? What is it that gets you revved up to achieve? Is it the words? Is it some actions? Is it a motion? Is it a color? Is it a particular routine? Tell me your stories and put them down below and let me know what works for you. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to share with your friends if you happen to like the content. Talk to you again tomorrow.